again to Better Than Before in the afternoon. I'm Dave Edelstein here to talk to you about all things to do with being mindful and relating and communicating and getting along in your relationships and with yourself, and making our way through this thing we call life. And today I thought I would reflect a bit on, I did an online personality test that was supposed to reveal my multiple intelligence score, and I'm frankly a guy with the very classic kind of school intelligence. I was a good student when I was a kid. I was a well-behaved little guy. I got high grades. I was extremely verbal. I continue to be uncontrollably verbal. But I was good. I was good in just about every school subject, and I went to a well-known university because I was good at the things that school expects you to be good at. I'm not someone who in school suffered for having an offbeat intelligence, as for example my son did. My son has a wonderful musical intelligence. He also has plenty of other intelligence, which he doesn't use much, because music is really what motivates him, and the fact that he has this ability to hear things that I, for example, being an amateur musician, cannot hear. The fact that he shapes his world in music is very different from the kind of intelligence that I grew up using. But one thing that's a little bit odd about me is that I grew up very driven by that traditional kind of logical, mathematical, verbal intelligence that shows up in one's SAT score. But then, as I went out in the world, I did not find myself using that kind of intelligence so much. With the collection of skills that this multiple intelligences test suggested that I have, I could see that the test thought that I should probably be some kind of engineer. I do have some musical affinity, maybe something like an audiologist, music therapist, something to do with the sciencey technical end of sound music, something like that. But clearly very much more towards the sciencey engineering side than anything else. And I thought about this, and I was like, well, how real is this for me? And how much, hi Denise, and how much does this reflect what I've done with my life? The test says, well, you're very good at you have a strong preference for, a strong instinct for the science and tech end. Well, I was a science teacher for 13 years in a high school. This gives you certain self-image points, or yes, this is what I know how to do. I was surprised to find that I didn't score so high in the verbal area. Listen to me. I can't stop talking. I get on this thing every day and I talk for 10, almost 15 minutes. I try to keep it under 15 so that I can easily transport these things over to YouTube. But I'm a very verbal kind of person. But through years of habit, years of study at the master's level, working as a technician in the Peace Corps, working for the US EPA and the US Fish and Wildlife Service, and then as a teacher, well, what have I done with my life? What strong areas, where am I confident that I know that my experience has told me I will be strong? It's in the, it's in the science techie area. And not so much the computer techie area. I'm not strong in that area at all. But in sort of classic academic science and mathy things, well, I'm more inclined that way than probably most people are. And this made me think about, well, where are you? Where are you going to put your effort? Where are you going to put yourself? Let's say that you as perhaps a young person would come to a test like this, and it would say, well, you have certain mental instincts or physical instincts. You could choose to put your effort into those because you're strong in them. Your tendencies are in that direction. Your way of thinking sort of automatically inclines that way, or you could go a different way. For example, that I scored sort of highish in the music area is not because I had or have a very strong musical talent, but I spent a lot of time playing guitar. It's something that matters to me. And then the question is, well, where will you put your effort in life? Regardless of your aptitudes and instincts. For example, the test said, well, you really want to be in some logical mathematical area. It's your instinct. The problem is that while I love games and puzzles, I don't really like being chained to logical thought. I'm much more admiring and I much more enjoy thinking off the grid, thinking creatively, making stuff up, playing music, writing stories, solving all kinds of puzzles, and interacting with people. These things are enjoyable for me, make me feel satisfied, make me feel like I'm doing stuff that's worth doing in a way that probably working in a field that was more logical, mathematical would not. I would not, for example, feel especially fulfilled working as an engineer, as much as I do admire engineers, and as much as the kinds of problems that engineers are able to solve do draw me, do intrigue me. But in terms of where I would like to spend my time, where I feel like I'm doing the Dave thing, I need more human contact. Maybe that explains why I became a science teacher and not a scientist. I know that at least one of my graduate level advisors he said at the time that I was selling myself short by not pursuing a PhD. And at various times I've considered retracing my steps and getting that PhD. And it lacked, PhDs in science for me lacked the human component that I needed, the social interaction, the joy of working with other people and playing with them and talking with them. That for me is just why you go to work every day. Sure, you go there to get your projects done, to meet your deadlines, to make money, to do the work that needs doing. But for me, I always enjoyed doing that with like-minded people, as is such a popular internet phrase today. I've made a number of really good friends at work. And as a teacher, that thing of doing the science thing or talking about science or interacting with science ideas with kids was always very satisfying for me. Seeing how they interacted with these ideas and with me, and I with them, and they with each other. That human element is a huge driver for me, and it doesn't really come across strongly in the profile test that I took today. So, I'm not here to deny the value of such a test. I did get value out of it. It did give me some insights into what the shape of my life is now and perhaps why it is that way. But what you choose is so much more important. If what excites you, if what moves you is something other than what a test indicates is your strong suit, let your strong suit go. Maybe in the next life, maybe another time, maybe at another phase in your life, you'll want to draw on those skills and abilities. But do what moves you. Do what you think is important to do. Do what drives you. Live your life by what you choose to be, rather than by what you may perceive or someone else may perceive as your inherent abilities. If you push yourself into a new area, your abilities will develop. All of these things, all of these intelligences are like muscles. You exercise them and they grow and become stronger. So I encourage you to go out and strengthen whatever part of your life you really care about. Give it your best. And the satisfactions may in fact be greater than just continuing to do what you're good at. And the growth opportunities are ever so much more. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like and share it. Get the word out that I'm here talking about these things of life, relating, and personal development every day. And I hope I'll see you again tomorrow when I do it again. Have a great evening or a great rest of your day or tomorrow. Bye now.